adventure right now. It feels like it's just a long story that goes nowhere. I feel like it doesn't even work. I've heard rumors that the choose your own adventure is just a troll. And it shouldn't even be read in order. So maybe I should just start from here. You head west, or what you think is west, but might in fact be north. Figuring it's safer than the other way, who knows? You gotta get out of here. It's all the same vast expanse of desert. It would be almost nice to look at if you weren't so pressed for time. You know all too well that you're close to running out of gas, and running out means radiation poisoning and probably a painful, drawn-out death. The speeder continues to carry along at a descent clip. By your reckoning, the high-performance Govt engine probably makes the most efficient use of high... Man, I can't do this. Or maybe I should do it. Maybe it's too enlightening for me. This story is called The Lesbians. Turbo. What's good, man? Sorry if I wasn't paying attention to chat. Sucks to be you. Sucks to suck. Don't matter, though. I'll be paying attention. You know. Let me just, pop like a drop it. The Lesbians. Birthday naked from thighs up, long leather sex boots wore she. In her left hand she held a silenced Walter PPK red. Her right held a whip of such steel chain in immaculate, holy killing condition. She was good in all except she had no face. She thought she had a face. Hell, she thought she had a voice. Maybe she did have a voice once, but only a voice to scream. Still no face. Is this really who you think it is? I know you, Briscoe yelled. Wait. The smoke began to clear. And now it's someone else, and she's got a face and a voice. It was your smoke. You fucking bum. Your superego, your brain death that blinded. Behold her magnetic pure beauty, total goodness, and perfect dark radiance. Chandon stumbled to one knee on his way down. He glanced up one last time before he said goodbye to her and this horrific realm. She wasn't even looking. The bullshit never ended. Chuny knew this. Goddamn. Knew it. Well, as anyone ever wanted to. Hell, in the state of mind he was in, at that moment, he may have well been a minotaur. He had his willpower still, but his knowing had eluded him. This hadn't ever happened before. Everything was nothing new, as it would be forever. He finally understood. It was now time to wake up for real. More smoke, Briskmate was once standing there, but then, with more smoke. Brisk's mate was once standing there, but then with a what the fuck mouth from his lips, hands seemingly floating without a body, grabbed his sidearms, and before he could utter a horror shriek, there was a bullet deep in his heart. His mouth was spattered with deep dark blood. So dark, it didn't look like it was happening. The look in his eyes told another story. This one of complete believing. He fell. There's too much blood, Briscoe. Too much. There was too much blood, Briscoe. Hadn't seen that much outside of Total War. This was a war zone now that this man was dead, but the double death wasn't finished. For on his way down to his knees, Sammy's self-same took another big bullet from the hand's trigger right under the chin, an ultimate classic brain attack, and make sure it's sure all right. This is on your hands, Briscoe spat to the sky. He drew out a long, deep grunt. Now I'm gonna kill you. Now I'm gonna kill you. He walked and walked. He knew the way home. It was just a long way he was hell-bent on taking now. The hard way. It's gonna be the hard way from now on. This bud's for you. Chudon awoke. He needed no alarm to release him from his lucid dream. Names forgot him. Faceless, riddled with holes. Lives blown up with so much bomb. Terror came into ample supply. Christ killer, so much horror it made them run and it made them pay. I ain't going nowhere, and I'm coming for you. Today's Tuesday. Time for killing, Briscoe said as he walked through the door of his fine office. It was a glorious day at the office. His secretary, Boom Betty Bye-Bye, knew by these spoken words that pure action was in store. The wall adjacent was a fold-up bed in this position. Goddamn, Briscoe, you hot on lead? Betty Boom-Bye asked cheerfully and erotically. Good morning, Betty. Why, yes. He stopped short. What's this? Boom Betty interrupted by gently undoing her blouse. Her full breast began to stare needingly at Chuny. He began loosening his tie because he was heated. Listen, Betty, I like you. I really do, but I'm not about to ruin a perfectly good working relationship with the best working girl in the fucking city. I'm gonna need you to type out a resignation for some grand judge, bigwig, pigwig. I'm gonna need a grant to execute for $250,000. I'm not kidding. As Briscoe spoke, it was still very plain that for Boom Betty, no meant yes. Betsy Boom never broke her eyes away from Dawn's. It was as though she could detect and measure his pulse quickening by tiny increments as his testosterone could be suppressed by femiplastic BPA runoff no longer. Slowly, her hands began to make their way down her skirt that ended just below her sex organ. Okay. Call Dolores up. We'll get a quick three-way in before breakfast. On that, Chudon began to violently shake his hands and pace back and forth to make sure he was getting into character. What's this? Footsteps outside. 2 guys. One touching the newspaper laid out to alert for visitors. Betty Briscoe continued. Make that a call to the morgue. There was a knock at the door, and a hammer click that was replied to by a gunshot blast. One hole through the door, shot through the hip on floating feet. Chudon's on the other end of the door. There sounded a thump so loud it was incredible. There's nothing more. But there was. Gurgling from a useless broken stomach gave its coil away to Briscoe's audiophile ears. Come in, Sue, said Briscoe. What entered was clearly insane. A man stood no shorter than 7 feet, a dark complexion, almost black but still white. Black hair in a bob for that nice hard-shaped face and black beard with bristles growing straight out. All of this was accepted by a safety green TNT stick that had been belt-tricked in his pants as yet unactivated. Who are you? What do you want? Briscoe inquired. The man that had walked in could only moan in return. Very nice, Briscoe giggled. Do you know newspaper means no shitheads allowed? Who's that out there, Johnny John? More moan escaped the man's mouth as his straight-whiskered beard grew another inch from the tension in his crumpling face. Johnny, no longer make a move and you're up next, Soup, Briscoe warned. Mystery Man Soup began to walk backwards with his fingers designating on the fuse on his stick bomb with a book of thick cigar shop matches. His eyes violently shifted between Chun's and the bright green stick. I said don't do it, Soup. I don't want to blaze you. Soup stood there, looking crazy as ever. The man looked down and was surprised to notice one of his shoes had fallen off. He wondered if there was closed-circuit footage TV of him wandering around a parking garage looking for answers to a question that smoked out of his ears while every day an answer eluded him. The man spoke. Briscoe, you know the guy you waxed last week? Shine Poe don't like it. What's your name then, huh, Soup? Briscoe interrupted, so I know what to piss on into your grave. The next 4 shots were between Soup's eyes. His top hat volcano blew several feet away in all directions, but he still had cringing mouth and his teeth were thrown out of whack and soft as clay. My name's Beans. I'm dead. Yes, sir, Master Cunnyman, Briscoe chanted. Chudon turned to his secretary, who had smoked a cigarette through the entire exchange. Okay, Chudon, I'll shoot him down to the morgue and file a report, Boom Betty Bye-Bye said, and I'll call Dolores. All right, bet. Make it real sweet. I'm going to Nick's. I need help with this next gig. I feel there's a lot of justice in it. Think I'm going to take care of Poe once and for all. Briscoe headed out to go find his good friend, Nick, 100%. Nick ran a bomb-making shop on the Lower East Side. All he could think of was making bombs. He was the kind of guy. He could also drive like a mother bitch. He'll get me what I need, Briscoe thought. Nick'll have this thing dicked. Briscoe pulled up to Nick's fresh pad lying quietly on the wood diamond. He laid on the horn for a solid 5 and stepped out of the car, cocking his good gun up nice and tight. He pulled it up to his chest, pressed it there. He knew there was a chance there could be a bad scene. Nick Hayden had been in bad scenes before, but that was on the front, on the streets. These missions were never control jobs. They were strictly demolition. Demolition and driving. Chudon's and Nick's specialties, respectively. And so they rode on. Demolition into the soon flaming day. Real cute, Nick said as he shifted the fortified Camaro stick into the 10th. Smells like pigs today. Go faster, Briscoe replied. This will be a fast job, Briscoe, but there could be a few wasted hacks. Lots of dopes in there today. I checked it out this morning. Fighters cashing fat pension checks for lining coke and starting fires. Leave the electrocution to me, Nick. You got the wheels here. Who the fuck is this? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. There's only a few more pages left. Oh, shit, there's a lot more pages left. Well, I don't want to ruin this nice little session, so let's keep going. And I got the bombs if we need them, and we will need them. Tossing the good measure is always best to take, even if it's going clean. Briscoe lit a smoky cigarette and held it in 1/3 down and counting, yeah. There was a ruckus blowing out of Smitty's house as Nick put the tank to park. Smith's wife was nagging at him, again for unknown and most definitely unreal reasons. Jesus Christ, Briscoe said. Here we go again. Keep the car running, Nick, if you would. Briscoe popped out of the car and jogged up to Smith's door, where he and his wife were exchanging word. Hey there, Briscoe, said to Smith's wife. He launched out his best strong arm and formally pushed Smith's wife back into the house. He shut the door and locked it. Smitty, let's go. I don't know, Briscoe. It's just that Smitty trailed off with a way heavy sigh. Listen, Chudon, said Nick. Out right there with the car, all warmed up. We're all set. It's all set. Set it off, Briscoe snapped his fingers in Smitty's face. Listen, you hear me, Chudon? Miss Man handled Smitty's collar close. Come in 10 minutes. Shoot anything that bets when you get it. Jesus Christ, Smitty. Do you hear me? Yeah, Briscoe. Sorry, he muttered back. I've got a lot on my mind right now. My wife. Fuck your wife. In the mouth, Smitty. Fuck her in the ass. Get that harpy out of your head. It's almost rolling time, and you know what that means, he emphasized the last word. She's only spinning her shit at you right now because you're in the middle of something important. You can deal with her later. Now it's time to go. Now it's time to go. They both ran to the car and got in back. But Chudon, Smitty continued. Shut up, Chudon, slapped Smitty in the mouth. That's for her. Look, Smitty, I'm sorry, but what the heck, Smitty? What the fuck? Why am I even talking about her? Goddamn, Smitty, when are you going to learn to dance the light step swinger? Does this dance at the distance gotta make a monkey out of you? Does this... Okay, I really misread that. Does this dame at this distance gotta make a monkey out of me, having to straighten you out? The berater? You know there's nothing worse in this world than a berater. I'll monkey her, Smitty. I swear to God I'll monkey her. They continued on. Fall River, Big Bank, stood giant tall and monster green, towering over the unwashed, no-mind plebs. A monster stuffy piggy effigy, and always shimmying like a spell was gently cast on it. Most of the pigs choked on big Texas toast rubies from the whole shitty world. Others got blown up in their house of iron paper. Briscoe was no pig. No pig, all right. No how? No, sir. Die, pig, die, Briscoe muttered to himself through clenched teeth. Thereafter, his whistling sounded to his hatred stead. Take a fine wipe, Briscoe, but mind the line of microaggression. Mind your manners, or be thrown out into an oven shuck-jive to pieces. Stuffed to a suitcase. Death accidental. No one cares about the dead. No one cares about the dead. Okay, man, Chudon said aloud as he remembered his need to withdraw a bit of hard cash to keep his bankroll smooth and fast, well-oiled and right, easy fingers, flipping bills, filing in electronic holes. Briscoe walked into the bank on a beeline rail straight to Teleprime, whistling his cigarette full blaze, both hands up to his head. One on his smoke, the other wrapped around his jaw, fixing an ominous mask on his face. Teleprime, name tag Julie Jugs, sat in one of the teller things. I'm gonna need a little help, know what I'm saying? Chudon turned and cased a bit. Julie Jugs, he thought to himself. Looks like she's gonna be a hassle. Julie's fine appearance was now soured by an ultra man wearing a mask in her face. Chudon slid her note and blew smoke into her eyes. Don't be a bitch. Just file the order and don't be a bitch. 47 million USD, said the note. This is Bear Stearns. Do you know who you're fucking with, mister? Call me Mr. Pistol. At this, he rang her clock with a ripping gun background that sent her into an alien world of only obedience. He continued. I'll keep your head ringing for 1,000 years if you don't slide cash. She groaned and complied. The new Julie Rune slides out a shank. Chudon sees it, but can't believe it. Keep it cool, he thinks. She shimmies it into Chun's side, but it didn't work. He's got a vest on. You remind me of this petty dame I knew once, Briscoe continued. His thought aloud and delivered a career-ending pistol whip straight between her eyes. I got this gun from a video game, Briscoe jokes, serious. Teleprime dazes out in between, looking down at the paper with belief in nothing. Though she sat in relative silence, her pain reverberated loudly, her looks now indistinguishable from my headaches. You shouldn't have done that, Jugs. Briscoe apologized on her behalf. Okay, Mr. Banks, here you go, sir. She speaks through a torrent of thin fluid and mucus. She slides a giant bag of cash towards Briscoe. He smiles through 3 smokes. I bet. Chudon said by the way of confirming his pleasure. I'm gonna puke, Jules says as he slides down to the ground. She's gonna puke, Briscoe roars to all around. Nobody pays much attention and he is pleased. Chudon places gently his hand on Julie's shoulder. It's okay, Jugs. You'll be set once this is over. Take me to Poe's office. Jugs complied and led him away by the hand. Briscoe turned back to Smitty. Smitty, shoot anything. Don't fall asleep. And your wife is dead. At least for the day. He pulled out a bag of good sizzle bombs from his jacket. Here, set these off at the door. And hell, set them everywhere in 5 minutes. Then swing in through Poe's office to see how things are going. I'll be waiting at the back. If I'm not there, hit up Nick right into the sun. If you know what I mean. Get everybody out of here. Hey, shoot on, Smitty confirmed, but he stammered on something wild. But if I... Briscoe squeezed Jug's fingers gently to initiate the next stage of the plan. As they walked to the back, Chun could hear Smitty herding the fools out to the bank. The ones that screamed got glocked. The ones that ran got shot. See, Julie, I knew Smitty would come through. When is Poe getting back? She didn't answer. You're not talking to me now, he said. He let it go at that. This hallway lasted for a quarter mile. So many doors all gently opened, the hello bombs rolling and spinning and sizzling and fragging. Which is which, Julie? It's further down. I hope you're not taking me for a ride, Julie. I can only assume you know I'm down for anything. They came to the gate at the end of the tunnel. This is it, Julie says. And Briscoe releases her from the half Nelson. All right, Janice. Thanks, Briscoe says to the sky. Julie, You go in first. She opens the door. Bisco lights several sizzlers, 7 in each hand. Onward, they float through the doorway to the new world where only justice could prevail. What a fucking clusterfuck of a story. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed reading it. Because I really did enjoy reading that. How long have I been streaming for? Is there a way I can tell?
Ready for anything.
Boom 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 boom. Sample that. Sample that.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Stream's over.
Sample that. Sample that.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Stream's over.
I want to do one more short one before I drop out. Okay. Sample that. And this one I have not read yet, so this should be interesting.
Bye bye. Stream's over.
I want to do trans hot dog crust foods. Another winner here. When smooth twinks went the way of bell bottoms and woks, hot hung lady boy. Eating them up were the football fans, trapped in their small raised ranch with a chunky wife. Fuck a dope hot girl, dude with a smooth prick right up your buns. Everybody was in, and this was a winner. Kids ate them, and people got a little weirded out and thought that it might have been a slight miscalculation on a physiological effect down the road when they sexualized hot dogs for kids. Oh well, what's done is done, said the public officials. And that's called trans hot dogs. Insert hot transsexual picture here to sell more hot dogs. Oh shit, that's deep. I fucked up. This was a mistake. How could I do this? I have a family. Latinos, old basketball coach, white guy, smooth gook. Okay, stream's over, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I certainly did.